In this lesson, you will learn how to fix a mistake if you sewed incorrectly. So here I have a 5/8 inch seam allowance that I sewed, and we're going to say I didn't quite sew on the correct line. So I'm going to use a seam ripper, which ours are dark blue in the room. I have a light blue one here, but they're all the same. They have a hook at the end. The little red dot is just so the hook does not completely go through your fabric. So you're going to take the little hook, and the hardest part is finding the first stitch. I don't recommend that you start at the beginning where you have knots, because that's double sewing. So you're just going to find one of the stitches and rip up. Then go a couple more stitches, get the stitch, and rip up. You can go a couple more stitches and rip up. Now, you can do that the whole way along like that. I like to do it slightly different after I get so many stitches ripped out, and open up the seam, and from the inside, just take your seam ripper and rip up, and then gently keep pulling it apart. And you can see about 3 or 4 stitches came out. Rip up again, and keep ripping. Now, I'm going to turn it around and go back to that spot where I had a knot, because as I said, that's double stitching, and you do have to be careful that you don't rip your fabric. The hardest thing when you are seam ripping is that you don't get frustrated because you made a mistake and you go and rip a hole in your fabric. So gently rip the stitches. Then once you have all the stitching ripped out, take any loose threads, cut them off from both sides, and you would be ready to just go ahead, pin your fabric back together again, start where you left off, make a knot on the sewing machine, and finish sewing it again.